Welcome to Cake Money Confidential, hosted by your girl, Taylor Quinn. I'm a business mentor, wife, mom, projector, Enneagram 3, Cancer sign, and making money is my love language. Around here, we believe business gets to be wildly profitable and fun as fudge cake. In 2020, my first full calendar year in business, I made over $400,000 cash while full-time teaching, wifing, and growing a tiny human. Because I combine the woo and the work, I know I can have it all, and I'm here to teach and show you you can too. You ready for an episode so juicy it should be confidential? Grab a slice of cake and let's dive in. Okay, fam. Today's episode is juicy, okay? Today we're going to be talking about 3 reasons why you may be feeling resistance with your content creation. Wow, words are hard and we're just starting the episode, so this should be entertaining. But we're going to be talking about 3 reasons why you might be feeling resistance around content creation. And let's just be honest. I know you've heard this before, so let me just sound like a motherfucking broken record for a second. Consistency is everything in business. Now, yes, consistency is going to look different over time, like facts, right? Consistency during my first trimester looked very different than it did during my second trimester when I had more energy than I literally ever had in my life. It looked different, but the fact of the matter is I was consistent, and I have been consistent in my business for a very, very long time, and that is a huge reason why my income is where it is because I am really fucking consistent. Okay. So that being said, we want to figure out these minor shifts in the way that we think about our content, the way that we write our content, the energy with which we enter content creation in order to make it as easy as possible for us to consistently create content, because that is the name of the game. That is the name of the mother-fudging game. Okay, so today we're talking about 3 reasons you might potentially be feeling some resistance around that consistent content creation and shifts that you can make so that it feels easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay. My goal, honestly, for you all is that writing fire fucking content, content that your community is just like, cannot wait to devour, is as easy as eating a piece of your favorite cake. Like literally. Okay, so number 1, you're writing content so that it will go viral. And let's just be honest for a second. Let's just have a little come to Jesus meeting, and let's be honest. Are you writing content with the intention of, I hope this is going to go viral. This is going to be the thing that goes viral, and then I'm going to have 1 million amazing followers, and my programs are going to sell, and I'm never going to have to work again. Right? Is that the energy that you're writing content with? Because this is single-handedly the biggest way to lose your magic in your content creation. Truly. Right? And let me just say it. For the love of your content and your business, please stop writing content with the intention of going viral. Because here's what happens. You edit, and honestly, just please, let's remove all judgment for a second and be so honest with yourself. Because self-awareness is everything. Right? If you enter this episode with, okay, the intention of just being more self-aware with how you create content and the energy with which you do it, you will leave with your next, it's just going to blow your mind. Okay. So this is what happens when you write with the intention of wanting to go viral. You edit 1 million times, right? And here's the thing, with every single edit that you do to your content, you're watering down your authenticity. You're striving for perfection, which that's fucking boring, right? And honestly, you delete the sentence that potentially supports and resonates so deeply with someone in your community, right? For fear that everyone won't resonate with it. Just let that sink in for a second. You miss out on so many opportunities to deeply support your community because you're worried about everyone loving it. And you're worried about everyone saving it and everyone liking it and everyone commenting on it. We miss out on so many opportunities to create depth with our community and to support them on an entirely different level because we're worried about writing for everyone, right? And here's the thing, you end up writing about something that actually won't attract the right people into your community in the first place. When you're worried about serving everyone and going viral, typically what happens is the topics that you write about, 1, aren't even topics that you want to talk about, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but 2, They don't even make sense for your Instagram, for your business. Okay? The other thing is when you are writing with the masses in mind versus your person, your people, your community, it just doesn't hit the same. It doesn't have the same intentionality. It doesn't have the same examples that it would. It doesn't have the same analogies that you would typically use because you're focused on so many different people versus focusing on, and here's what I want you to do because this is going to this is going to change the game for you, okay? Instead of focusing on the masses, I want you to write for your person, your people, your community. And the way that I want you to do that is how would you say this to a current client of yours? Whatever this topic is, if your one-on-one client came into Voxer and they asked you about this topic, they asked you a question around this topic, how would you support your client with that? What would you say? How honest would you be? How transparent would you be? What would be the level of love and respect and intentionality that you would have with providing them with that answer? That's the energy that we want to bring into our content. Okay? That is the energy that we want to serve with and create with. More people need to actually start creating content the way that they would mentor their clients, and their businesses would blow their mind. Truly, their businesses and their bank account would blow their fucking mind if they would just start writing content like they actually mentor their clients. This is huge. This could be an entire episode because there has got to be congruency in the topics that we are showcasing on our Instagram, on our TikTok, for our email fam, on our podcast, and the way that we would support our clients through those exact topics. Okay? That's just an integrity thing. Because the thing is if you are a tough love coach, but you're providing content on Instagram, like you're walking on eggshells, which typically is what happens when you try to go viral, right? And somebody enters your coaching container and they expect you to be their biggest cheerleader and to never call them out and to never give you those juicy but incredibly transformational I love you but statements, they're going to be like, what the fuck did I just sign up for? She's ripping me in a booty hole. What is happening? You know what I mean? There's got to be congruency between content creation and the way that you mentor your clients. It's going to change the fucking game for you. Okay, the second thing is you've outgrown the topics of conversation that you're showcasing on your social media. Here's the truth. You teach people and you show people the conversations that you're available to hold. You teach people what questions to ask you inside of closed offers and closed containers through your content. There are so many times, and I feel like this is one of the many, 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 many reasons that I will always have a mentor, is that when she posts something on social media and I want to know more, I'm going to go ask her more. I have mastermind and one-on-one clients all the time. Like, okay, you said this in your post today. How do I do that in my business? How does that translate into the strategy piece? What does that look like energetically? Where are you at with this? Where's the last time you felt resistance around this and then you were able to shift it? What did that shift look like? Right? My clients ask me all the time about topics that I showcase on my social media. So the topics of conversation that you bring to the table have got to be conversations that you include in your content on social media have got to be conversations that you actually love having and that you want to have. Okay? But here's the thing. That was sort of like a little side tangent. Let's get back on track. If you are showcasing conversations that you have outgrown, that you don't want to talk about anymore, right? You are going to continue to attract clients that want to have those conversations. And this is also like a deeper level. This is a conversation about a deeper level of integrity, right? Are you willing to shift your focus in your content to actually attract the clients that you want to serve? And are you willing to say no to clients for the sake of money and that quick win, that quick hit, right? That quick external validation, even though you know that they're going to bring forth conversations that you don't want to have anymore. And they're coming to you for X, Y, and Z. And yeah, you could help them, but they're actually conversations that you don't want to have anymore. And that's like, I feel like literally a whole different topic of conversation. We could create a whole podcast series on this. But really check in with your content. Do you actually want to have these conversations? Look at your last 6 posts. Are those conversations that you want to have every single day with your client? Now, there's a few different things that we can do here, right? If you don't want to be having these conversations with close proximity clients, let's lean into one of 2 things. 1, create a program or a training on it, right? Because there are topics of conversation that you don't want to have anymore and that you have outgrown, but are still incredibly beneficial for your dreamy client at some point in their journey. It's going to be extremely beneficial for them to hear this conversation, to know how to do whatever it is, right? And so it makes sense to now just go create a training on it, create a course on it that they have access to, that when they ask those they ask those questions, you can refer them to it. And that's going to be massive for your energy, but it's also going to be massive for the transformation that your clients receive. Okay? Number 2, the second option is to just stop creating content around it. Even if that topic performs really, really well on Instagram or TikTok, right? You'll notice on Instagram, it is incredibly searchable, right? A lot of people search it. The content performs well of like how to beat the algorithm, how to do X, Y, and Z, right? Beating the algorithm, beating the algorithm, beating the algorithm. It performs well, but that's not a conversation that I want to have, okay? Because I am not focused on helping my clients beat the Instagram algorithm inside of their business. I am focused on helping my clients create an insane amount of money, right? And most of them don't have a large audience. Some of them do, right? But it's still very much the same focus of how can we serve our people and serve them really fucking well? How can we create fire content so that our business is so simple, an offer suite that we are obsessed with? I could go on and on for days. But point being, the topic of conversation is not, hey, how can I beat the algorithm today? It's about emotional intelligence, capacity, subtle shifts in our content and our strategy, being really grounded in our strategy, mastering the strategy that works really well for them and feels so damn juicy that they can be so consistent in it. You see how it's like, we're holding a different conversation. But if I was all the time creating content around top tips for beating the algorithm, top tips for having 1 million followers tomorrow, that's what people would ask me about, right? And so stop creating content if you don't want to have those conversations anymore and you don't even want to create a course on it. Like, don't stop. But even if it performs well, right? Like and the other side of this is like, how willing are you to stay the course, to keep going without the external validation? Because it feels really exciting and really fun when shit is popping off on Instagram and TikTok and there's so many views and people are commenting and sharing and da-da-da. That feels really good. Like as a human, that external validation, you're like, wow, I'm doing a really good job. But how willing are you to stay the course when you're not getting that, but you're really wanting to talk about something else? Are you going to allow yourself to talk about something else? Are you willing to stay the course and to showcase the conversations that you truly want to be having, even if it means giving yourself the validation first and foremost, right? I truly believe that that's the determining factor in businesses who make it and don't make it. Are you willing to stay the course? Are you willing to keep going without the external validation? And we can apply those two questions to so many different topics: sales, content, marketing, everything, right? And how willing are you to go first? Like, this is a test of leadership and integrity in your business. So many of my clients come to me and they're like, I really want to shift my content. I really want to start talking about these different things. I really want to start. And I'm like, I'm so fucking here for this. But let me tell you, are you willing to stay the course? Are you willing to rely on your own internal validation versus the external likes, the shares, the views, right? Are you willing to be vulnerable and do something that feels very new, even though you're embodied in it, to shift the topic of conversation, to start attracting clients into containers that are centered around conversations that you actually want to be having? I feel like this is completely different topic than what we started with, but it's good. So we're going there. And let me be clear. And I say this all the time. This is not a shame game. It's a growth game, right? Are there conversations that you want to bring to the table, but you're not allowing yourself to do that out of fear? How can you just fucking go for it? Are there conversations you're done having that you just don't need to have anymore? And are there any trainings that you need to create so that you can plug that energetic leak of constantly having that same conversation over and over and over again, knowing that you've outgrown it? And here's the thing. Outgrowing it does not mean that it's useful. Outgrowing it does not mean that it's not useful. A topic that you've outgrown can be incredibly useful. But you are always going to be able to serve your clients at the highest level when you honor the way that you feel, when you honor the nudges that you're getting and the desires that you're having, because they're there for a reason. You know what I mean? And so outgrowing it does not equal it's not useful. Sometimes these conversations are incredibly fucking useful. That's why we create the trainings, right? Because that's what's going to be the most supportive of us, but also our clients in the long run. So there's that. Now, number 3, you're not actually taking the time, and this is so simple. This is so simple. You're not actually taking the time to post the ideas that you do have. And this is massive, right? Most of the time when I feel stuck with content, it is not about a lack of ideas. Let me tell you, it is not about a lack of ideas. It's about a lack of action on the ideas that I do have. I want you to be so honest with yourself. How many ideas do you have sitting in your notes app right now that you have never even talked about? Or that you could talk about in 10 different ways, but you haven't yet, right? For whatever reason. You don't want to sound redundant, or, oh my God, you posted about that last week, or, oh my God, somebody else was talking about that, so now you can't, like, blah, 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 blah. Where are you not taking action on the ideas that you already have? Because that's like creation constipation. You got to let it go, okay? You got to get that idea out there in the world, keep things moving, keep things flowing, keep it regular. Or you're going to get constipated, okay? So I want you to open up your notes app, and I want you to use 3 ideas. 3 ideas that you have in your notes app. That's a challenge for you. Go in your notes app, find 3 ideas, post about them. Do not overthink this. Just fucking use them, right? Use them. It takes one post for a potential dreamy client to find it and say, hey, how can I pay you in full? Hey, how can I get on the highest, I want to sign up for the payment plan for the highest level, closest proximity to you. Or I want to pay in full for your group program, or whatever it looks like. It just takes one post. And it could be one of the ideas that's sitting in your notes app graveyard, right? Literally. Okay? Post the thing that you've been wanting to, but you were afraid to post because you don't know how other people are going to respond. And that's another thing. Like, if I have the nudge to have this conversation and to talk about a thing, but I'm not doing it out of fear of how other people are going to respond, that's why we have an entire module inside of Cake Money Method on giving less fucks about other people's opinion, because it's huge and massive for your creativity, your marketing, all the things. But if you're not, it just like immediately, boom, creativity constipated. Like, it's just, you got to let it go. Let it go. Let it flow. You can't hold on anymore. Is this turning into the Frozen soundtrack? I don't know. Okay. I love you all. I cannot wait to hear what comes through from this episode. I feel like there were a lot of blackout riffs, but here we are. We're back. This is so juicy. I love you all so much, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye, y'all. Podcast fam, listen, hold your cake pops, because your girl has something she needs to say. It would mean the absolute freaking world to me if you would share our podcast with your community on Instagram. So if you love this episode as much as I love you, and you want to help our podcast create even more impact in this world, all you have to do is take a screenshot of this episode and share it with your community on Instagram stories, tagging me at Cake Money Consulting. Plus, it's a win-win, because when you share it with your community on Instagram, then I get to share you with my community as well. All right, fam, wishing you a booty load of cake and a massive amounts of money. I love you so freaking much, and I will see you next week.